So the first thing I want to talk to you about is the fact that we do have some soft clipping settings going on here. We did talk about it a little bit yesterday, but if you want to know how to build a really good soft clipping chain for your beat so that your stuff is just hitting harder, much louder, check out the blog post I have linked below. It's one of the first links in the description. It will teach you for free on that blog post how to make one of these chains in like 3 to 5 minutes. And if you've never done it, if you've never gotten to soft clipping before, it's going to make your stuff sound amazing compared to what you're doing now, just because brick wall limiting and soft clipping is the sound of modern music. Wanted to let you know right when we get started with the mixing that there is a soft clipper, and I do recommend always mixing into your soft clipper. As soon as you begin to bring drums in, that's when I would recommend getting that soft clipper on there, just so you know what everything's gonna sound like. And then it helps with this first process that we're gonna talk about, which is gain staging at the level of the channel rack. So that's a level 1 gain staging concept. You know, it's one of the most basic root levels that we can do leveling in, and then gain staging is just gain adjustment by stages or leveling by stages, right? I normally would do this while I'm programming, but I held back as much as I could so that we could demonstrate it today. So what I'm gonna do is solo everything. So we're just gonna go ahead and turn off the melody because we already had that routed. So I'll usually start with the 808. And when I'm doing this, I'm not even necessarily looking at any mix faders, right? I'm really just looking at this meter up here that FL Studio has. And I'm thinking, okay, I want it to be loud and punching, but I don't want it to be like right at the ceiling, because there's gonna be one thing that's louder, and that's gonna be the kick. So then I'm gonna bring in the kick. We should see it touch right around that ceiling, maybe back it off so it's not hitting right at the ceiling, but you should almost see that color change, the way it turns a little bit white right when the kick hits. You wanna see something like that. I might push it a little bit more, because intuitively I want my kick to be louder than my 808. But the kick and the 808 are gonna be the loudest elements in the beat. Usually the bass is the loudest element in the beat. Then we're gonna move on to our main snare, which is gonna be the second loudest thing. So when this hits, I just don't want it to be like peaking louder than, say, the kick really, or the 808 honestly, because it's gonna be more quiet than those bass elements. Then we can bring in our accent snare. So I'm doing a little bit of listening here. I'm just trying to make sure that it's still present, but not more powerful than the main snare, and definitely not more powerful than our bass elements, right? And then the hats are the last thing. Let's start off with this bounce hat. Again, this is more of a listening thing because it's gonna be difficult to see in this meter. I want it to be present, but not louder than my main snare. And then this pace keeping hi-hat, it's just gotta be lower in terms of actual gain than that bounce hi-hat, and that's easy. I just turn it down in volume. I don't even really have to look at it, but I can do a little bit of listening to see where I really want it. Excellent. And since the melody was already routed in here with a few effects, we can just level this a little bit. It's just way too loud for right now. I think that's better. I think that's better for what we're going for. Nice, nice.